The Power of Thinking Big. How a poor boy with empty pockets changed his destiny. Have you ever looked into your pocket and found nothing? No money, no opportunities, no one to believe in you. Many people think that empty pockets are the biggest obstacle to success, but they're wrong. The real problem isn't an empty pocket, it's an empty mind. Because a poor person can become rich, a weak person can become strong, but someone who stops believing in their dreams has already given up. Today's story is about a poor boy who owned almost nothing, except one priceless thing: the courage to think bigger than his circumstances. This is his story. In a small village surrounded by dusty roads and green fields lived a young boy named David. His family was one of the poorest in the village. Their tiny wooden house had a leaking roof. Some nights they ate only one meal. Other nights they went to bed hungry. David owned only 2 shirts. His shoes were torn. His school bag was stitched together several times by his mother. Yet every morning he walked to school with a smile. Whenever people asked him what he wanted to become, he always answered, "One day, I will build a company that creates jobs for thousands of people." The villagers laughed. "A poor boy talking about owning a company? Look at your clothes first. You can't even afford new shoes." Their laughter echoed through the village. But David never argued. He simply smiled and continued walking. Because he knew something they didn't. Dreams don't cost money. Every afternoon after school, David helped his father carry heavy sacks in the market. At night, he studied by the light of an old kerosene lamp. While other children slept, David read books. He borrowed them from teachers, from neighbors, from anyone willing to lend him one. One evening, an elderly teacher noticed him reading alone. "What are you reading?" the teacher asked. "A book about successful people," David replied. The teacher smiled. "And what have you learned?" David answered, "They all started with almost nothing, but they all believed in something bigger." The teacher nodded. "Never let your circumstances decide your future. Your mind is your greatest investment." Those words stayed with David forever. Years passed. David finished school with excellent grades, but there was one problem. His family couldn't afford university. Many people expected him to give up. Instead, he got a small job cleaning offices during the day. At night, he continued learning. He watched free educational videos. He read books. He learned business, communication, and leadership. Every day he asked himself, "What can I become?" instead of, "What do I have?" One afternoon, while cleaning an office, David noticed several computers sitting unused. He asked the owner, "May I use one after work?" The owner smiled. "If you're willing to learn after everyone goes home, you may." Every evening, David stayed behind. He learned new skills, week after week, month after month, year after year. Eventually, David started a small online business. It wasn't perfect. Sometimes he failed. Sometimes he lost money. Sometimes people told him to quit. But every failure taught him something new. Instead of seeing problems, he saw opportunities. Instead of saying, "I can't," he asked, "How can I?" Years later, the same villagers who laughed at him now stood outside the grand office building he had built. Hundreds of people worked there. Many of them came from poor families, just like David once had. One young boy asked him, "Sir, how did you become successful when you had nothing?" David smiled. "I didn't have money, but I had vision. Empty pockets never stopped me. Only small thinking could have." Then he looked at the crowd and said, "If your dreams are bigger than your excuses, your future will always be bigger than your past." As the sun set over the village, David walked back to the small wooden house where everything had begun. The roof had been repaired. His parents no longer worried about food. The same people who once laughed now greeted him with respect. David looked at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, God, for teaching me that success begins in the mind long before it appears in the hands." The lesson: never let your current situation define your future. Your pocket may be empty today, but your mind doesn't have to be. Think bigger than your problems. Work harder than your excuses. Learn every single day. Stay humble, stay patient, and never stop believing in the dream that God has placed in your heart. Because the biggest success stories often begin with the smallest beginnings. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more powerful motivational stories. Share this video with someone who needs hope today. You never know whose life you might help change.